Show with Irish Show with Irish Show. Sometimes it's good to just yell about football. What are you doing? Don't do this to me, Harry! The Ohio State. It's Ohio State! What do you mean, the? It's a poison! I almost stroked out and died over it. I'm glad to be at the party. I'm mad we're this late. You ain't a captain of nothing but a sinking ship! That helps the defense without them even doing a damn thing! Doing a damn thing! The call-in line. 312-988-15. You tell Johnny all you've heard and seen. Oh, Irish! Oh, Irish! Oh, Irish! Oh, Irish! Irish! Yeah, that's right. Oh, Irish! Oh, Irish! Oh, Irish! Oh, Irish! Irish! Yeah, that's right. That's right. Welcome in, welcome back, everybody, to the final countdown. We're almost there, everybody. We're almost there. Oh, man. We're at the end of the rope, man. We're at the end of our sanity. We're at the end of asking questions there are no answers to presently. It's all about to come to an end. Welcome in, welcome back, folks. It's great to be with you. I'm telling you, I don't know where you live, but where I'm at in Illinois, it is feeling a little fall-y, man. That humidity has dropped. There's a little dew on the ground. It has a little crispness in the air. Football time is near. And it's most welcome. This morning's program, I'd like to know any reactions you may have to the AP poll. Any takeaways? It doesn't matter yet till week 7, like whatever it is. I want to know that. And I also see some interesting changes taking place in the Notre Dame program that we're going to talk about. So those are a couple of the things we're going to do. The phone lines are open, 312-988-15. If anybody wants to talk through any of your biggest remaining question marks that if you're like me, you lay there with your little head on the Irish pillow at night and you sit there and you run these Notre Dame scenarios through your mind. What about this? What about that? Against Navy, what about this? What about that? I'm imagining different ways the Ohio State game can play out. I talk your way through it. That's what the phone lines are for. So dial it up. Oh my gosh. I can't. 1 week from Saturday, it's going to be a game. We're actually going to be able to talk about seeing some of what we've been worrying about all these months since like December, January, whenever that bowl game was. All that time, all those questions. We're going to get answers. Somebody going to be right. Somebody going to be wrong with a lot of these hot takes that are coming out about Notre Dame. And we're going to talk about some of that today, by the way. As always, you can find the program on YouTube. Do it. Subscribe if you haven't yet. Appreciate it very much. Give the video a thumbs up. That helps Johnny out as well. Notifications on. You and I both know why that way you alerted every time a new episode drops. I know you don't want to miss it. Twitter. Search bar. Always Irish Rat. Always Irishing. I ain't called it X. I don't care what anybody said. I'm not calling it X. It sounds like I'm a paid member at a porn site. I'm not calling it X. I don't care what Elon says. It feels weird calling it X. I ain't doing it. So search bar, Always Irish Shake. Emails, alwaysirishnd@gmail.com. Audio only, anywhere you want it, you can get it. The call-in lines, 312-988-15. You tell Johnny all of what you hope you're going to hear and see. It didn't rhyme. I'm disappointed. Fighting Irish Wire every single day. You type it in and you read articles that come out of the computer box all about Notre Dame football. It's actually beautiful. Eric, come on, man. Eric. Come on, I can't. Anybody who knows who that is, I just can't. And it's a throwback, and it's just like, that's a good one, Eric. You got me on that one. That's a good one. We're going to move on. Fighting Irish Wire every day. Type it in the computer box. Read all about it, everybody. Read all about it. I can't believe Eric just did that. Now I have images in my mind I'd like to forget. All right, folks. All right, I got to get back in the game here. Eric has messed me up. Man, it takes a lot to totally knock me offline. Like way offline, where I'm just like, that just threw me off. That's beautiful. That is A+. That is like high quality stuff heading into the season. That is beautiful. Okay. Always Irish OnlyFans coming up next week. Got to make some extra revenue for the TV lines. Stay tuned. I know everybody wants to see that. Oh my God. All right. Here's number one. And then we got a couple calls. Dr. John's going to be first, and we need to make sure that we talk to him before his flight out. Okay. So let's do a couple chats. Got a couple super chats. We'll get into it. We'll get Dr. John before his Navy flight and whatever else you guys have. Okay. It's a beautiful thing. Domer Guy 88. I hope the program is changing, and that's what makes September 23rd so huge. Could be a monumental shift for the program that night. Yeah, there are some bullet points I want to go over that show that I think Notre Dame's program's turning a corner and changing in some very tangible, practical ways. It's just a matter of how big of a payoff do you get in that in year 2 versus year 3 or 4 with some of these things that I see changing within the program. So we're going to go over that. And of course, Domer Guy 88, always with the message. Let's paint that house Rockville green on September 23rd. No more red takeovers. Can't allow it. Got to be undefeated for that to happen. Oh, by the way, final arrangements are being made for the tailgate for Central Michigan. I believe we figured out the location, secured all that. And so when we get a little closer to it, I'll make sure to let everybody know where it is and everything. But we got a bunch of passes in a row. We got a good setup plan. So stay tuned on those details. $5 holler from Paul. Morning, Captain John. I rewatched the Navy game last year. So frustrated with Navy shutting us down the second half. Can't happen again. Listen. Some of you are going to say this isn't fair of me. John, you're being a jerk, whatever. Let me ask this. I just keep being reminded by everybody that's a power player in college football that Tommy Reese is a genius, boy wonder, the smartest football mind that's ever existed. And he was only able to draw up 12 total yards of offense in the second half last year against Navy. Bro, the disconnect between what people say about this guy and what we got from him is enough to make the rest of my airline fall out that Kelly didn't already taint. I'm sorry. If you're the biggest genius in the world, I don't care who's your quarterback. 12 yards of offense in a half against Navy. Sink your own ship. I can't work with this. So that's ridiculous. What you did defensively against them's ridiculous. And you got a month to figure it out before the game this year. Tighten it all up. Tighten it all up. 12 yards of offense in half against guys that are half your size. You're messing up. Mr. Genius Offensive Coordinator, you ain't coordinating something right. 9:09 a.m. and here I go. But I'm sorry, if you're a genius, there's no way your offense gets 12 yards against Navy and a half if you're a genius. There's no way. It should be physically impossible if you're that big of a play wizard. Son of a buck. I mean, give me a break. It's insulting. John, this guy's a genius. You should be crying that he's not here. And I go 12 yards against Navy and a half. Genius. No quarterbacks that develop. What do you mean? Where's the genius? And listen, I am open to coming back in here and saying to you people, what do you mean you people? You people. I am comfortable coming back after Alabama goes undefeated this year and averages 58 points a game. Then I'll come back and go, you know what? Tommy did draw up some good stuff. You just need 5 stars everywhere to make it work. Good for him. Like, I'm open to being that guy and having that show and going, holy crap, you got Tommy with 5-star talent everywhere. Look at it go. I'm open to that, but only after I see it. And even if that happened, I'm going to take all sorts of crap about, oh, you said you weren't mad Tommy left, and now look what he's doing at Bama. You're missing out or whatever. My comeback to that, even if this goes this way and he averages 50 points a game at Alabama, I'm still going to say, doesn't that still mean he was messing up at Notre Dame? Because that has nothing to do with the quarterbacks, none of them developing in an upward trajectory under his tutelage. That's number one. And number two, I'm going to say isn't it a negative on him if he was running offenses the personnel at Notre Dame couldn't execute at a high level? I don't think that's a compliment. That's how it's going to come off, is like, oh, he just needed the Alabama talent to make it all work. And I'm going to say, well, you're not being a good coach if you're running stuff at Notre Dame that those guys can't make work. It's on you to adjust to what your talent can do. So even if this goes his way and they have a great offensive year at Alabama with Buckner or another quarterback, I'm still going to say that doesn't mean that it was okay to run stuff we couldn't execute at Notre Dame. That's still a coaching error. Anyways, I'm sorry, but you let the fullback run wild and you had 12 yards of offense in half against Navy. Forgive me for saying I expect a better level of efficiency this year. My word. I mean, give me a break, bro. Stressing me out, man. Stressing me out early. Unbelievable. C. Downs, what's going on, baby? The AP has Notre Dame ranked 13th start season. College Football News has Navy ranked 102nd. The Irish should crush this team. No more playing down to the competition. Dude, every single year we go in and say, oh, look at the talent difference between us and Navy. That's how they play, is made to mitigate that talent difference. That's why it's hard for regular teams to play Navy. All right, that's why, because they know they're playing undermanned and under-talented, and everything they do is with the focus of minimizing that talent gap, eating up the clock, the way some of the blocks, I know they're getting rid of some of that, trying to legislate some of that out. But like all of that stuff that's why Navy does it. That they shorten the game, give you less possession, stretch you out. That's what they're trying to do. It's on Notre Dame not to allow it to happen. You got to not let it happen. Pat, morning, John, and always Irish Nation. Happy Wednesday. T-minus 10 days till we quench our thirst to get the first taste of the 23 season. Beating Navy is the first step to ending the meme. Go Irish, beat Navy. You got to sink that ship. You got to sink that ship. And it's weird, man. Sometimes Notre Dame comes out there against Navy, and we got it under control this time. Like, we have a guy wherever they want to pitch a guy, we're getting penetration, we're wreaking havoc, and then on offense we can run the ball and then throw it when we want. And it goes fine, and you take care of Navy the way you should. But if it goes sideways on you, even if you win, it's just going to be pulling your hair out. It is. I say it every year. I'm going to say it again. The Navy game is my least favorite Notre Dame game to watch every single year, no matter who's on the schedule. It doesn't matter. The way the game's played makes me go insane. It's so frustrating to watch, and I just don't enjoy it. It's not a fun watch. Now, I do admit Navy Notre Dame's going to be a more fun watch for me this year because it's the first game than like if it's in game 6 or something. Just because we're so desperate for any football, we're going to be excited no matter what. But generally speaking, Navy is by far my least favorite practical game to watch Notre Dame play. I mean, come on. Mikey Poles, that's my security guard. Good morning, John. I have a hot take and a what-if scenario for you. Let's start with that take. I predict both freshman wide receivers, Greathouse and Flores, develop to be the top receivers by the end of the year. That would be fantastic for the future of the Notre Dame program. It would be an ultimate indictment on everything that happened before it with recruiting and developing receivers. That's kind of how that would go. As for the what if scenario, what if all 3 fifth-year linebackers decide to come back for a 6th year? Can they? The COVID year, I think everybody, those got to be running out though, right? Those bonus COVID years. That would be a nightmare scenario. Young guys behind them would 100% transfer. Yeah, I don't know how that's going to work out. Unless if they're lights out this year and the blitzes are getting home and there's not busts over the middle and we're getting burned down the seam because the linebackers aren't there, or we vacated where the throw goes and the blitzer doesn't get home and I see his hair running into the offensive lineman and not into the ball carrier. We're going to see. We're going to see. Oh, man. It is interesting, though, because I don't know what the NFL draft profile's like for any of those guys. I just don't know. C. Jones, the emergence of Coogan and Spindler on the O-line proves there was real competition during this camp. Yeah, I mean, hey, Coogan, I don't remember being mentioned like in the spring or early in this race, and suddenly he's emerged. Rocco's a guy that's been on the radar forever, and he has that mean streak, and we all just wanted him to put it together. We need to see it all look good in action. That's what we need to do. Mark, just received my ticket for USC. Please tell me you'll be there, John. I don't have plans to be there at the moment. Again, the problem I run into, I brought it up to you guys before. The issue I run into is if I'm at the biggest games, I'm losing all the YouTube traffic for the weekend. I'm not doing pregame shows. I'm not doing postgame shows. I'm out of the mix. And so that's a big hit for me when USC, Clemson, and Ohio State are going to be the biggest traffic generators of the year. You just know that. No matter what's going on in the records, those are going to be the highest traffic I'm going to get. It's rough for me to give those up. So as much as I want to be there, without a place to record, I'm losing all that revenue and all that momentum and traffic. And I'm at the point where I feel guilty leaving you guys hanging. It's like you live and die with me all summer over all this stuff, even through when there's not a lot of football going on. And then when there's the biggest game, I'm going to ditch you and go to the game and not be here and take your calls. I just feel kind of bad about it. So I don't know. We'll see. Andrew Gilmore, Happy's older brother. How disappointing is Tosh Baker? He was a 4-star recruit, borderline 5, and he isn't even in the mix at guard. And then Andrew has this one, and we'll go to the calls in a minute. We're almost caught up. I don't believe the spin from the ND beat reporters about how good the D-line is. ND needs to go out and prove it against NC State before I'm confident. Andrew, I totally agree with you that of those first 4 games, only one of them should test Notre Dame physically and give us some early indicators of our ability to hold up on offense and defense against Ohio State. And it's going to be NC State. So I'm not acting like they have the athletes Ohio State does, but they have more bulk and depth than any of the other 3 teams Notre Dame's going to play early. So that's going to be what you're going to want to see. And it should be the main storyline of NC State. If Notre Dame takes care of Navy, takes care of Tennessee State, that's going to be the big line item for NC State is now Notre Dame's stepping up a little bit in terms of the kind of bodies and frames are going to be matched up against. Let's see where it falls. So that's going to be interesting. Mikey, I'm still terrified about this linebacker situation. I don't think the 5th-year guys are nearly as good as they should be. Also, Snead isn't progressing as fast as we thought. Thin depth, too. Hey, man, it depends who you ask. Totally depends who you ask. Some of these people love Notre Dame's linebackers. They like the experience. They love what's there. I'm telling you, it's a big dividing line with Notre Dame fans. And most of the media, most of those beat guys that are there and watch, they're telling you these guys are the real deal. And 96% of the time, they're exactly where Notre Dame fans need them to be. You're just focusing on that 3 to 5% where they didn't get home or something went wrong. I'm open to it. Run back the same starters you did. I'm open to it, but you got to have a short leash. If these guys aren't getting it done, let the young athletic guys go. If you're going to have mistakes made out there and not plays made, I'd rather it be from young athletic guys that are going to learn and get better from it for future years. Sorry. I'm fine with running them out there, but they got to be damn good. Run them out there, but they got to be good. And if they're not, you're out. Younger, more athletic guy. If we're getting mistakes, let a younger, faster, more athletic guy make them. And then we're learning from it. And I got that guy 2 to 3, 4 more years. I'm sorry. This is the big leagues, baby. This is Notre Dame football. Those linebackers all have to be good or you're out. Sorry. I'm with John on the D-line. I need to see you be violent and disruptive against OSU to believe it. Even if Notre Dame holds their own against NC State, nobody should go in here and go, oh, well, that proves we're going to be able to do it against Ohio State. If you do it against NC State. No, it's not going to prove you can hold up against whatever Ohio State's going to throw at you, but it certainly gives you some encouragement in that direction. Again, with the offensive line and the defense, I'll get the answers I am seeking in the Ohio State football game. I am not going to have the clarity that I need to be able to rest my Irish head on the pillow comfortably at night until after I see how both of those groups hold up against Ohio State. Okay? It's just the way it is. Adam Dowling, what's going on? Do I see Adam on the call-in line? Woo, he only calls in the season. He's getting ramped up, baby. I love to see it. We got a $20 hour from Eric. I appreciate that. Mikey, my odd take is I'm afraid that Matt Salerno is going to catch a lot of balls this year. I'm not sure if this is good or bad or both. You know what, man? He's going to catch some balls, and you're going to like the ones he catches. I could see it now. Salerno's going to be that guy not garnering a lot of attention. But he's been around the block and he knows where to be and he's reliable. And Hartman's going to find him on a lot of play. I'm telling you, Hartman's going to find him on a lot of plays where all the attention's going elsewhere. And Salerno's going to find a little soft spot in that zone and then take a little slip screen or do something. Like, you wouldn't want Salerno to be target A1, A2. I ain't talking about that. But as like that sneaky bailout guy that you forget all about and there's a soft spot in a zone and you give it to him, like something like that, I could see. But by no way physically do you want Matt Salerno to have to be like one of your main guys. I wouldn't think. You know what I mean? Yeah, Jordan Faison, man, that he's getting a lot of that walk-on's getting a lot of credit on the wide receiver, the walk-on. A lot of credit. Angela. School Adam, call back when you get a minute, man. I know you're at work. School started today. Dew on the grass. It's time for some football. I'm telling you, you can feel it, man. That humidity's starting to go down. It's beautiful. Nick Dean, it's good to be seen. Until we see some real football, I have no idea how these wide receivers are going to look. Sammy Eisman lit up the defense in the spring game. I'm hoping we'll have tons of options at any given time to let him cook. That's the idea. And if he has decent time at all and anybody gets open at all, Sam Hartman's going to find them. I'm very confident in that. But that's the tricky part. Like, we're all hopeful Sam will bring along these younger guys and all that, and we all want to see that. And hopefully his skill set could help the wide receiver group emerge more quickly because he's so advanced. However, Hartman can only throw guys open to a certain extent, right? You get what I mean? Like, at some point, guys are going to have to make moves to get open. Like, on their own, they're just going to have to make moves to get open. So, like, you may be able to get away with this against most of the teams we play, but in the marquee three, when you're playing better talent, are you going to be able to have those guys get open and make plays for you? Because that's what Notre Dame's looking at. That's what Notre Dame needs. And Hartman can only bring you along so far. You got to get separation and make a move and get open. When you get the ball, you need to hold on to it and make moves. So Hartman's not going to be the part holding any of this back if it's held back. It's going to be offensive line and wide receiver play. Interior offensive line. I'm not going to say a word about the tackles. It's going to be issues in the middle three against the better teams we play. and lack of separation from the wide receivers. If Notre Dame's offense struggles this year, that's where it's going to come. I'm calling that right now. It's crystal clear for everybody to see. Hartman's not going to hold this team back in any way. If this offense doesn't take off the way we need it to in the best games, those are my predictions. Interior O-line problems, wide receivers, they're athletic, but they don't have the get off yet against older, more mature defensive guys that are talented. That's my prediction. So in games where if Notre Dame's offense struggles, let's look at interior O-line push and protection and wide receiver separation and get off. That's what I'm looking for. Dr. John, here's Johnny. Good morning, all. 10 and a half hours to take off for Ireland. Dr. John is packing his leprechaun gear and his shillelagh, and he's ready to head across the ocean. I love it. Mark with glasses. As far as the test goes, Navy's like writing your name up at the top. It should be automatic. Then you fill in the date, move down to the first question, NC State. Again, it's easy to say, but there's a reason these games are played and not written on paper. I'm telling you, for all the people saying, John, relax, it's just Navy, I'm saying, hey, buddy, just relax. It's just Marshall. Hey, buddy, just relax. It's only Stanford. Like, bro, I'm sorry. If that's how it's going to be, I'm just giving you the realities here. We were saying it's just Marshall. You going to win by 40 or what? And how did that go? So it's the first game. There's a lot of nuance and a lot of just variance. First game variance. You don't quite know what you're going to get. And then who is further along in establishing their team this year? Here's one thing I think about. Navy's messing with two quarterbacks, which tells me they may not have one. And their offense is ultra predicated on precision, timing, and rhythm. You usually don't have that in week one for your offense. Any offense, let alone one that's ultra predicated on that timing. And you're physically outmanned and athletically outmanned. That's a big ask. Notre Dame needs to shut that ship down. Yeah, I said ship with a P. Jay Carr, what's going on? Matt Miller, what up? What does Matt say? Felt like a football season this morning. 58 degrees when I took my kids to school in Indiana. Let's go, baby. I can feel it coming in the dew in the morning. Oh, yeah. Football's almost back. And it's a beautiful thing. Bradley A's, what's going on? There are two programs with losing records ranked. I do not get the Florida State hype. Washington in the top 10. Texas is back again. Preseason rankings are garbaggio. Yeah, they are. They shouldn't be rankings till about week 7 to me. But you got to promote your top 10 matchups and all this stuff on TV and all that. That's why they do it. The Florida State hype, don't worry about that for a minute because you're going to get that answer Labor Day weekend. Brian Kelly, the Bayou Bengal, faces Florida State week 1. One of those teams is catching a loss. So either way that goes, you're going to get an answer, and you're going to know. So one of those is going to drop right out week 1. Which is it going to be? I mean, I'm rooting for Florida State over Kelly. Washington, yeah, I mean, whatever, I guess. Texas is always back. I feel like Texas and Miami are the two that are always back. They're always going to get hype. It's every year. It's Texas and Miami are back. And then the annual put Penn State in the top 10, even though they never are going to beat anybody good. That's what they do every year. That's what we do. It's just a trend I've seen. It's just a trend I've seen. Oh, I see Pat received my text message today. And I'm upset about it, Pat. And I know I can't get into it with everybody right now, but I had to break some news to Pat, and we just got a lot going on with this show and other stuff. And timing, man. Timing. I don't like it at all. Andrew Gilmore, is Colsey in the witness protection problem? I read nothing about him. I read nothing about him. Colsey's getting passed up by the young guys. That's what's happening. Colsey's getting passed up by the young guys. Like, I'm sorry, that's what's happening. Merriweather is like a little further advanced and he's getting more run. I think he's getting passed up, you guys. This program needs guys to step up, and these young players are doing it. They don't care. I love the mentality of these young guys. I've been hearing and reading about the professionalism and maturity with which Flores and Greathouse have come into Notre Dame and wanted to challenge for a spot right away. That's beautiful. That's what you've been begging for. They didn't come in there scared. I'm a freshman. I got to just assume my role as the fourth wide receiver and take a back seat to these older guys. None of that happened with these guys. They came in and said, to hell with it. I'm talented. I'm going to make plays. And I love that. But as a result, some of you older guys are getting bumped down the depth chart, bro. You had your chance. So I think Colsey's passed up. He's going to be in the rotation, but I think these younger guys are garnering more trust in him. Take that for whatever you want, good and bad. The Navy game's always weird. You just have to get through it. Yeah, so do I, without having a damn stroke. The way they play just makes you lose your freaking mind. Taj Murphy, good to see you here. J. Carr, Will. It's Navy, not rocket science. Exactly. I've been saying, Will, that's a good point. Callers coming up. Adam, I'm going to pop you on because I know you're at work, and then I want to be able to give John more time before he goes to Ireland. So, Adam, I'll pop you up, baby. It's Navy, not rocket science. Here's what I've been saying, and I like this quote. Navy presents a tricky game for Notre Dame in the years Notre Dame allows Navy to be a tricky game for Notre Dame. And I do not mean this as an insult, but this matchup is way more about Notre Dame doing what they need to do than anything Navy's going to do. All right? Like, I mean that. And I know that sounds insulting, but like Navy's undermanned, under-talented, undersized, under-athleted. Everybody understands it's the Navy Military Academy. But it's only tricky if Notre Dame allows it by not doing what you need to do. And again, I've said it. The biggest difference this year is it is game one, which means you have all the summer run-up. All of the summer run-up. To be able to prep for this. There's no excuse, bro. You let that fullback crack loose this year. I'm absolutely going to blow my stack on the post-game show. Larry, it's good to see you. Uh-oh. Larry says, as of yesterday, our former quarterback is running third at Bama. I got to ask you guys, if Buckner's going to not start and be the third quarterback at Alabama, what is he getting out of this move other than out of the frustration that was his existence at Notre Dame? Like, I genuinely, I'm asking. If he was going to go start for Alabama, it's a totally different ballgame. But if you're going to be second or third, but he just apparently was so frustrated with Notre Dame, he needed out. He needed out. What has Pat got this morning? I don't think we're missing out losing Reese to Bama. You need Saban to improve. He will improve and be better there. Yeah, that makes perfect sense. And I agree with you. It's just, I'm still going to have comebacks when people go, oh, John, you were mad at Reese. Look at him now. And I'm going to go, he wasn't doing it at our place, though. Sorry. Like, you don't get to come to Notre Dame and be the O coordinator and then run stuff that the talent doesn't allow you to run. That's bad coaching. If that's how this plays out, that's bad offensive coaching then. Oh, boy. Buckner's third string. That's rough, man. That's rough, man. Ryan, 661. What is it? Ryan, 66-1D, 6, whatever. Praying the old consecutive run up the middle on second and third and 8 was removed from our playbook permanently. Well, you might actually you might be able to run some RPOs there with the guy that could actually do it and make the good decision of whether to keep it or when to throw it or what to do. Should be better. What else Pat got? Why does Freeman get a pass for the second half of Navy? Is he not the head coach of the team? Is he not the former DC? Last I checked, it was a failure on both sides of the ball. Yeah, you're right. Like I didn't yell enough about that game overall. I was talking specifically about the offense, though. Like I was looking at a scope of a scope of a scope in the microscope down to the offense. It was all unacceptable. Freeman doesn't get a pass for Stanford. He doesn't get one for Marshall. He's got to be a lot better this year, just like everybody else. Freeman's got to take a big jump in managing this team, making sure they're ready to play, putting them in the right mind frame, all of that stuff. He's got to do a lot better year. Have a lot better year. Cole, last time Indy went to Dublin the same year they went to the Natty. Let's not forget that. Wasn't it big old Lewis Nix running that ball in? Or was it Tuitt? One of them guys ran a bit. One of the big boys ran it in. I can't believe that was over 10 years ago. I am getting so old. I just remember I liked that game was so early in the morning because it saved me pacing around all day. We just got it right out of the way. Notre Dame won, and then by noon, you could sit there and watch everybody else with relaxing, right? That's what I liked about it. It was also a good excuse to drink for breakfast, so that was good too. Matt Radke, it's been a while. Good to see you, bud. Always Irish. We ever going to do a live stream of the game with you? Maybe. I've looked into that. I don't know how it would do or how many people want to be distracted by me yelling about the game while they're watching the game. I don't know. Something to talk about. Pat says, I think we could do a live 30-minute pregame show from Central Michigan. I'm working something out. He's got a hotspot. Pat's got a hotspot. I mean, an internet hotspot, of course. John 88 asking this, John, what all home games will you be at then? Right now, Central Michigan's the only one for sure. I may go for a media credential in the press box for a home game later in the year. That might be the next one. But I'm sorry, you guys. I don't want to give up all of the traffic in the biggest weekends by being at Ohio State and USC. Later in the year when it's a lesser thought of opponent, I think that's when I'm going to utilize the USA Today relationship I have and see if I could get in that press box with a credential for that one. No signal in the parking lot. Are you out of your damn mind? Forget getting Wi-Fi. I do not even receive texts and phone calls when I'm in South Bend. Every game weekend, I am there. And I tell people, text me, call me, we'll meet up, blah, 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 whatever we do. I don't get after messages. And after the game, whether it's that night or the next day, if I stay in town, when I get on that toll road out in the country, all the text messages start coming to my phone. Too late. Then I got all these people who think I ignored them. I told them to meet up with me. And then they all think I ditched them. I don't get any of the messages. I get voicemails a day later in Illinois. Oh, I'm at Notre Dame. Where are you, buddy? Give me a signal. It's super frustrating. Forget Wi-Fi. I don't even get cell service in that damn town. I realize it's a little sleepy town and everything, but when you know you can have 150,000 people on campus, make a bigger signal or something. Anyways. Man, I'm going off on stuff, man. I'm getting all football time's here and I just need games. Okay, you guys, I need games. Joe Long, good morning. Always Irish. God help us. We need a lot of help, Joe. I know the way you think, man. We need a lot of help. Trust me. Oh, Joe. Taj Murphy, what's going on? Joe Long. Hi, Deborah Thomas. You should call in and have that chat with the Johnny. I'm the Johnny. It's a $5 holler right into the old phone pool, the phone piggy bank pool. 65 degrees this morning in Alabama, John. I woke up looking to hit somebody. Sink the ships. You sunk my battleship. That's what I need to see, damn it. I think Notre Dame's going to be ready. I think this is a different year, and I think this team has a different gear. I could be proven wrong, But from what I see in the preseason, this vibe seems to be a little more ramped up. And that is an indicator to me of leadership on the team and the overall vibe. Some of you are going to hold it against me if Notre Dame loses the dumb game before Ohio State. You said you felt good about whatever. I'm just telling you. You know I'll never blow smoke at you. You guys know I will never blow smoke at you. I'm never going to come in here and tell you I feel good about a Notre Dame team unless I do. I will never, ever do that. And that's why a lot of you are here, because I'm not that fanboy Notre Dame show who's just going to pick Notre Dame to go 12-0 every year because my little heart wants it. I feel like this team has a little different mindset this year and a different gear. And what I've seen from even just the little practice clips I've seen make me think that. And that makes me feel good. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. Call up and make me feel worse about it. Pat says, it's August and I'm waking up to October weather. Stop it, Mother Nature. I have golf to play. You know what gets tricky, man? I love early fall golf. The weather cools off. It's nice out there. But what happens is when you start getting those leaves that change colors in fall, man, if your ball's not right in the middle of the fairway, it goes under a leaf. It's hard to find. And then what else you get into is you get into mid-fall and it starts getting darker a lot earlier. You can't get off work at 5 and go play 18 holes. You're losing the sunlight. Pat, get it in all you can get in, baby. Get it in. Get it in. Joe, caller's coming up. Adam and John. Joe, what about Tyree? Tyree could be a ultra deadly secret weapon for Notre Dame right now. I'm telling you, those wide receivers are going to garner attention. The running backs are going to garner attention. The tight end play, Holden Stays, is going to surprise people across the middle and up the seam. There are going to be opportunities for them to set up for Tyree to bust some big ones this year. Book it now. They could draw up some really cool little slip screens or just figure a way to get him in a soft zone. And I'm telling you, if they use him right and prioritize him as a weapon, he could be a deadly one. And I want to see it. I want to see it. Tom says, it seems to me the overall team togetherness, camaraderie, intensity, talent, and team speed is the best in a long time. The rest is minutia. The team's going to play very well, mark my words. Here's what I think about that. I think that stuff's true too. I just talked about it. But the issue is, I think most camps are saying that. So you really have to parse through what's legitimate or not and what you see with your own eyes. There's no media in camps right now going, the team that I cover for a job's going to be terrible. You guys should all just give up having hopes right now. Nobody's going to say that. You guys all do realize, the media thing. A bunch of these beat writers are going to practices all August looking at teams they know are terrible and they know they have no chance of competing and they're bad. They can't write that in their article. They're not in the business of getting themselves less traffic and clicks by being negative. You're not going to get that. So that's where you got to figure out what you think's real and not real, right? How are ND fans relaxing? ND fans are relaxing? I did not know that. What do you mean? ND fans are relaxing? I am not one of them. G Money, Washington as top 10 draft pick at QB. Totally understandable. Well, there you go then. And also the Pac-12, whatever's left of it, I don't think is the most raging gauntlet. John, explain sometime what you're saying. I don't even remember what I was yelling about that time. All right, let's get into the calls. I don't want to make Adam wait. And then Dr. John, we're going to get into your Ireland prep here. Adam, what's going on, man?
John, hey, can you feel the crisp in the air this morning?
Oh, man.
10 days away, buddy.
Dude, it's there. And you know what, man? It's great to hear from you again. You call a lot in the season and then, and then you get busy and you have work and all that. It's good to get you back in the mix, man. I feel it, man. It's almost here where's your mind at, man? Do you think that we're prepared and we're just going to bowl over Navy, or do you think we're going to be pulling our hair out again?
One thing real quick before we get to that, John, I got to mention this, and we texted last night, but how about On3 with their ranking of the biggest college football games of the year and them having not one of our games on that?
It's on my list of things to talk about, Adam. And here's the thing, man. Here's the thing about this. I was thinking about this because it was bugging me too. Here's my thought. We all know I think some general bias against Notre Dame and from certain circles in college football, whatever, like an anti-Notre Dame sentiment already. But I figured out of the respect they have for the three big teams we play, we would be in that list of like top games of the year, even if it isn't for us. But the way they like to build up Ohio State and USC and Williams and Dabo, I figured we'd be on the list just for them. We're not on the list.
Yeah, I mean, even if we're not in playoff contention, we have a chance to knock out three teams that'll probably be in playoff contention. So those are automatically going to be big games.
Yeah, that's the other thing. Yeah, that's a very good way to put it. Even if Notre Dame stumbles along the line, everybody else is going to be tuning into the Marquee 3 to see if Notre Dame could free up a playoff spot for somebody by clipping one or more of these teams. You're absolutely right. But when you look at the list of those games, Adam, do you think they're all better than any of ours? Like I could see some of them that are going to be big, but I mean, you got to have Notre Dame, Ohio State on there. Come on.
Yeah, I think maybe the only ones were like Ohio State, Michigan, Bama, Texas is a big one. But besides that, I mean, come on.
Yeah. And now, Adam, let's move this forward. And this is on my notes. I'm glad you brought it up. Let's move this forward. Okay. How can we use this as an advantage for Notre Dame? I feel like Notre Dame's flying under the radar a little bit this fall. Like, I just do. I think they're flying a little under the radar, and I think that could benefit Notre Dame. I actually don't mind Notre Dame going in without a lot of hype. They have a schedule that if they manage it, they're going to end up right where they want to be. It's all up to them. Maybe it's in our advantage that people are sleeping on Notre Dame early this year. What do you think?
Yeah, they're getting zero national hype this year, which kind of makes no sense when they had us at 5th last year. But I'm okay with that. I'm okay with us getting zero hype. I mean, we have the games to prove what we are. So none of it really matters, but I think I agree with you. It seems like there's a little more urgency this year. It isn't kind of like the honeymoon. Like the honeymoon was over. You know, everyone was happy, a change, a nice, but now it seems like they're getting to work, but this team seems like it has a ton of potential, but there's so many spots they have to prove it. You know what I mean, John?
Yeah.
They have to prove
that
they're there. These linebackers, and I've heard Max Bulla's a huge difference, and they're going to be a lot better. They have to prove it.
Yeah.
The D-line has to prove it. Those receivers have to prove it.
But Adam, here's what's weird to me about this. Notre Dame goes out and they get the hottest QB available in the transfer portal, a clear mega upgrade over what we had in the program. I just thought Notre Dame would get a little more hype just off that alone, but it doesn't seem to be the case. So I don't know if that is people who are not valuing Hartman, or they're just like out on Freeman and Notre Dame. I don't know what's causing that, but it's a little surprising to me that you get Hartman and I don't see this huge boom of like optimism from the media. That's a little weird to me. Or maybe it has to do with the schedule, Adam, and they just don't think we're going to beat the big three. I don't know.
It always seems to be a little bit of an agenda because we're not really part, like, the SEC's in with the with ESPN and the Big Ten's with Fox, and the other networks, to where they get more of the coverage, and we're kind of all, it's almost like, oh, you don't want to be a part of our conferences, so we're just kind of going to block you out of our
See,
media here.
Will's saying what warrants hype for ND? They haven't met expectations the last few years. The way all the media with Notre Dame gets blown up, I figured getting the best transfer quarterback available in here would warrant a little more hype. That's all I'm saying. Notre Dame has a lot to prove, lost dumb games last year. All of that is true. I'm just surprised they're not getting a little more credit for getting the best quarterback available to come to their team. That's all I'm saying.
I guess you don't have to worry about it, John. If they beat Ohio State, they'll have all the hype you want.
Yeah, it actually does work up beautifully, Adam. I wrote an article. I don't know if it's up yet on USA Today, Irish Wire. And I was saying the beautiful thing about Notre Dame's schedule this year, as legitimately challenging as it is you don't have to convince no committee you're worth anything or do any. The schedule does all the talking for you. This is very different than Kelly's last year, where your toughest game was Cincinnati and you couldn't handle it. And then you're sitting there trying to convince the world your schedule is worthy of the playoff when your toughest game was Cincinnati and you lost it. You're not going to have that issue this year. If you take care of business, you're going to be in. So the schedule speaks for itself. Notre Dame controls its own destiny 100% this year.
Yeah, definitely. I even saw, I was watching a college football live episode, and I think it was Dusty Dvorak thought we were the most overrated team in the top 25. So,
man,
there's
wow.
Definitely.
Wow. And we're not even in the top 10. We're not even in the top 10. Give me a break.
And his reasoning was because of the schedule and losing Tommy Reese. That's what he said.
Now, wait. Now, here, Adam, I've always wondered this in my brain, which isn't the most advanced, okay? I admit that. Here's what I struggle with. Are these preseason rankings made neutral of the schedule, or do you think there's some built-in bias of where they rank teams being like, okay, Notre Dame, they could be good. They could be, oh man, the marquee three, they're not going to beat that. Do you think that the schedule influences that initial rank because there's a perception already? Or do you think it's neutral? Schedules aren't looked at. We're just looking at the talent. Do you get what I'm asking? Those are two different ways to rank teams.
I mean, it's an AP top 25, so I'm sure people that take it serious kind of look at all that, and some people probably don't take it serious and just rank people on how they were last year. That's probably how it works.
Yeah, and then the coaches poll, when they get that going, it's like the sports information director that fills it out or something. It isn't even the actual coaches.
Yeah.
Adam, are we going to blow out? Are we going to blow out Navy, or are we going to be stressing it out till the end? Which way is this going to go, buddy?
Well,
which way?
This should be a good sign, John. Normally, when we're good, we blow out Navy.
Yep.
If we're average or below average, it's usually a close game.
Yep. It's weird. I mean, it's weird how that is shown over the years of like when you have it together and you're organized and you have it, and then when you don't, it's just kind of one or the other. Nobody's here for that, man. We are not here to sweat it out against Navy week 1. That's going to be a rough watch. Rough watch.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, but I'm excited for this team, man. It seems like there's a different tone. I think a lot has to do with these younger players. They just look and they seem ready to play, and I think it might be pushing these veterans. Something maybe they didn't have last year. This freshman class is pushing these guys, and I think it might have raised the intensity a little bit in fall camp.
I'm telling you, Adam, you're in my brain. One of my bullet points I'm looking at right now is literally the bullet point says more freshmen came in ready to play than I ever remember before, or at least closer to being able to push to play right away. And I feel like that is raising the vibe of the whole entire thing. The compete level, the intensity, older guys not wanting to lose their job to a younger guy, like all of that raises the level of competition. That's got to help raise the whole ship that we hope to sink navies with.
Well, if you really think about it, John, if you kind of run through some of these freshmen, people, all you're hearing is good things about Vernon. He's ready to play. The linebackers, Bowen, Osbury, they're saying that those guys look great It's just seniors keeping them off the field. They're saying, so we got a couple corners, I think Gray, and I forget what the other one. They said if we didn't have our corners weren't so good, they'd be playing too.
Yep. Christian Gray, Adam, a bunch of these years, the last handful of years, Christian Gray right now would have to play and be a key contributor back there in the secondary. It is a major upgrade, the fact that that is not the case. Like that is another example of that talent rising. He's the type of athlete that Notre Dame would have needed to force into action early in years past. And maybe that's where you're seeing, Adam, that blue chip rate start to permeate in the program a little bit, where there's deeper talent underneath the talent and more guys ready to physically play early. Like maybe you're starting to see that turnover of more guys that are more ready to play young, and that is going to make the program better. I see that. Do you see that?
Yeah, Great House, Flores are all pushing these guys. I mean, these kids are going to be hard to keep off the field, and the veterans are going to have to fight to keep them off the field. I think that's raising the whole intensity of the team. And I guess we'll see here in 10 days. I mean, that's all we can do is wait and see what we see, see what we get against Navy.
Hey, Adam, I got to ask you, man, it's going to be the last weekend before football starts. And I got to ask, are you going to bring the boat out one more time for the weekend, man? Have a couple drinks, hit the open water before your weekends get busy? What? Come on, man, bring that boat out one more time, baby. Get out there.
This weekend's going to be about it, John.
Yep.
We got a busy September.
Yeah.
Game. Heading out to South Bend every week, so it's gonna be this is it. But I'm gonna let you go, let you move on. But let's 10 days, man. Let's hope for the best and let's
10 days.
Irish,
and
man.
then Adam, hey, we'll be seeing you soon. Me and Pat will be in the loop with you, finalizing the plans for the Central Michigan game. But we're gonna see you there. That's gonna be a hell of a party. We're gonna have ourselves a day, bud.
Yeah. Only real quick, what I forgot, what I was going to mention were a couple concerns real fast. My biggest concern, I think, is I've heard nothing about Deion Colsey. That really disappoints me.
Yeah, it's what I have heard is it seems like he's in real jeopardy of being jumped by some of these younger guys and in that rotation. And that's frustrating, but this is, I guess, what you want. You want this level of competition. So I don't know, man, but I'm hearing maybe the young guys are jumping him. What are you going to do, man? He's had every opportunity in a camp. And if those guys are more consistent, more electric, they got to play. That's life.
Yep. So I guess we'll see. I guess we get at this point, we just need games. We need games and see how far the team's come along.
Let me ask you one more thing about the wide receivers. What are you expecting out of Merriweather? It seems like it's very up and down. Sometimes it flashes. Sometimes he can't get open. Other times he's making great plays. What do you think you're going to get out of him, man? You want to rely on it, but I don't think you can yet. Not enough has been proven. What do you expect to see out of that?
We have to remember, too, they are practicing against what some people think are the best corner tandem in the country.
That's true. That does help.
They're not game planning for anything. So take with a grain of salt what you hear from practice. But I think what you saw in that Stanford game when he ran that deep post, I think that's what we're going to see a lot from him. Down the field, dump balls. That, someone Sam could just throw it up to on a deep ball. You're going to see more of that. I don't think he's going to be like a huge numbers reception-wise, but I think he'll be more like a big play guy.
But even the threat of doing that a handful of times a game or whatever makes a defense have to think about it. And it's a threat that we really couldn't present practically much last year. So if he could be that guy, go up and get it down the field, jump ball guy, whatever, stretch the field guy with that big long body, it would open everything else up. But he needs to get more consistent this year. Think
think about it. We won 9 games with pretty much 0 passing game besides the tight end.
It's amazing to think about. Dude, I've been saying that about the Kelly era too, not just last year. Think of how far Notre Dame's made it being as limited as we've been on offense. It's actually kind of impressive we made it as far as we had with half an offense every year.
Yeah, if we could ever just get an elite offense just for 1 year, it would be fun. It would be great.
I'm not even going to say elite, Adam. How about just you can run it or throw it sometimes? How about that? We're not used to it, man. I don't know, but we're going to get some answers, Adam. We're going to get some answers in a week. I can't believe we're this close to a post-game show. I'm excited. Not like John Holmes excited, but I'm pretty excited, okay?
I hope not.
Yeah, me too. Me too.
But hey, Dom, I'm gonna let you get to some other callers, and hey, go Irish! And
That's
guys.
Like excited like Fowler during the USC Notre Dame game, man. I'm very excited. All right, I gotta tone it down in the booth. Oh God!
Oh,
all right, Adam. Have a good day, buddy. I'll talk to you.
I'll talk to you.
See you,
Bye.
bud. Oh my God, that's a funny one, man. Oh, Eric, you got us going today on that one, man. Old school reference. It's also the other thing, Eric, is you got to kind of be old to even understand the reference. That's the other funny part of the irony in this is you got to kind of be old. Oh my God, that's funny. Jacob, come on, man. I see what you're doing and I like it. The real coconut with the $5 holler, a bit behind regarding Reese First Navy. Reports out of Bama is that QB and wide receiver play is questionable with strong O-line, running back, and multiple tight end sets. Where have I heard that? Yeah, I don't know. Very, very good point. Very good question. Whatever, man. I want Tommy Reese to... Thanks for the donation, Coke. And I don't know if I've seen you donate before in the chat. Thanks for being here. Listen, I am totally open to the idea that Reese is going to open it up at Alabama and this increase in talent is going to make it all go great. That is not going to make me any less frustrated that it wasn't elite at Notre Dame when he was here. Not as a recruit, not as a player, not as a coach, not as a quarterback developer. None of it. None of it was elite at Notre Dame. Any offensive stuff Tommy Reese was involved in Notre Dame was never elite. Never even near it. Not as a player, not as a coach, not as a developer. I'm sorry, man. I'm sorry. Dr. John, he's packing his Ireland. He's packing his leprechaun outfit. What's up, doctor?
Good morning.
John.
Hey, yeah, I'm ready. I'm not packed, but I'm ready. I got the clubs in the travel bag, though. That's the important thing.
That's beautiful. So do you have it lined up to play a couple courses while you're there? Man, what a great trip you have ahead of you.
Yeah, it's going to be fun. I'm there for a week just traveling around with a lovely lady from Arizona. She's never been there. Her last name was McGarty, and she's found where her folks are from, so we're going to visit there. Then we get back to Dublin, I think on the Wednesday before the game. On Thursday, my crew arrives, my brother, my 3 daughters, one of their guys, so there'll be 7 of us. And they're all primed for that call on Friday before the game. So,
oh man,
I will be in a pub. They'll be a little raucous, I'm sure.
I like that. No, what we'll do, John, is when I see you call, I will not make you wait. I won't do my thing or not. When I see your name on the call-in log, I'll bring you right up as soon as I can so you could get through that and then go back and do what you're doing. So whenever there's a window that you can make it work, as soon as I see you, I'll bring you right up. So if it's beginning of the show or whatever, like I will make that a priority to make sure I value your time.
Well, I appreciate that. And what I'll do is I will hopefully be able to get it on the computer for a little bit, let you do your shtick for 10 or 15 minutes, and then I'll give you a call.
That'll be perfect. Hey, you know what makes me nervous though,
That works?
Dr. John? What makes shipping golf clubs in an airplane makes me nervous. I never really trust what shape those clubs are going to end up if you do that. It always is an anxiety for me with how particular I am about those things. That makes me nervous. So hopefully they make it in one piece over the big lake.
Well, yeah, we never really go over the big lake. I just checked. We go over Hudson Bay, we go over a hunk of Greenland, and then there's just a little bit of the big lake before you get to Iceland. So,
well, there you
go. And then
go.
it's a short hop from Iceland to Dublin. So, yeah, it's going to be fun. It's going to be fun. This crew I'm going to be with, including my brother, who, if you'll recall, I called him an asshole jokingly. We're going to play golf for 4 days after everybody else leaves.
So. John, what a great trip. But if you're going to go over there and you're already going to make that time and financial investment, you may as well book yourself up with fun stuff you want to do. But look at this, man. You got all your people with you. And the two things you like doing, you're going to golf and in Ireland, and then you're going to Notre Dame. This is beautiful. I'm happy for you, man. I am really happy for you. This is going to be exciting.
Thank you. It's well, this is my third game over there, John.
So what? 2012, and then what would the other one be?
Well, we had 96 was the first one, and then 2012. And 96 was in Old Croke Park, but 12 was in the new Aviva Stadium. That's where we are now this year.
John, you've seen a lot of Notre Dame Navy games over your decades. What do you think are some of the keys, especially with this being week one, for Notre Dame to be able to get through this with relatively low stress? You've seen a lot of these. You've seen a lot of iterations of Navy over the decades and Notre Dame. And I'm sure you've identified trends of what it looks like when Notre Dame handles them and doesn't. What's on your radar?
Well, I always have that knot in my stomach. It doesn't matter how many points we're favored by. But, yeah, I've seen my share of Navy games. I've seen them in the Meadowlands a couple times when my son was in Boston. I think we're going to handle them just great. So I'm looking forward to it. It'll be interesting to see us in blue this time instead of white. And I love those uniforms. A very classy touch, I thought, having that little bit of Gaelic, whatever that is, around the ND. I thought that's pretty classy.
Yeah, you know what? I have nothing against that. It's pretty traditional and a little flair for recognizing where you're at. I have no issue with it at all. I just need Notre Dame to take care of business, Dr. John. The only thing that could ruin the vibes on your trip, it could be if we give up 240 yards rushing to a fullback. You know what I mean?
I do. And is there any truth to the fact that we're playing them this early because you lobbied the administration because you wanted to get it out of the way?
Oh, yeah. That's what it was. All those letters I wrote finally paid off, and they said we better put him first on the schedule. Make John shut up. I don't know, man. John, I'm telling you though, and I hope I don't appear to be a fool for saying this. Everything I've seen and read and heard, the vibe feels pretty good right now. The intensity in camp has been ramped up compared to many. And I look at that as a big indicator of the intensity level, the leadership level, how these guys want to get after it. I've seen a ramped up energy compared to a lot of recent camps. I think that's a good sign for the year.
Well, I do too. And of course, I always go into this so ambivalent about it all. I'm thinking 12-0, then I'm thinking who's going to sneak up and kill us. And so, right now, let's just beat Navy, get that out of the way, and move on.
Yeah, yep. And I do like that Freeman's approaching it differently this year, Dr. John. Freeman spoke about last year he learned that he was thinking too big picture, talking to these guys about big picture results, and they're forgetting the week-to-week, day-to-day stuff. And this year, he's going to try and focus more on 1 week, 1 game at a time, this being the game you need. I look at that as him evolving and emerging a little bit and maturing as a coach. And then when the guys prove they can handle thinking about the short term and the big picture, you let them do that. So I think Freeman's trying to hone his messaging, and we just got to see it all pay off, man.
Yeah, well, that's my attitude. I mean, weeks ago when everybody was going on about no red out at Ohio State game and all that, and all I was thinking is, hey, right now the most important game is Navy, for crying out loud.
Yep.
Take care of business then.
Yeah, I know. But
and then take care of 3 more, and then you can try your hand at Ohio State.
Dr. John, you know how it is, though. It isn't exactly as romantic to pontificate about the Navy matchup compared to Ohio State. Like, I get why people are looking ahead. It's just very dangerous to do. I understand why they do it, but it's very dangerous.
Oh, yeah. Hey, I'm going to segue here. I don't see Jay Lehman in the chat this morning.
Jay Lehman.
And
Jay Lehman messaged me, and he's traveling and has some stuff going on. He literally messaged me on Twitter to tell me, I wanted to let you know I'm going to be out of the mix for a while. I think he might be going to Ireland too, though, Doctor. I think he's going to Ireland.
Well, he is, and that's why I wanted to chat with him today, because we had said we'd meet at Slattery's outside the stadium before the game. And of course, we don't know each other. So I made my Jay Lehman sign this morning, which I'll be taking with me.
Yeah, like
so
a limo driver.
With that sign.
I want you to have one of those little limo driver hats, and you're standing out there. Jay Lehman, where are you?
One.
Yeah. Hey, listen, I could, if you don't have a way to get in touch with them, I could on Twitter let him know your email, and he could email you through that if you're okay with me sharing that information, if you really wanted to do that.
Oh, absolutely, John.
Okay.
Absolutely.
All right. Then I will Twitter message him your email and tell him to reach out to you, and then you guys could coordinate. And I'm telling you, Dr. John, Jay Lehman is the nicest person I've met, like, of anybody in this Notre Dame circle. He's a very, very thoughtful guy. And so you would have a great time with him. I'll set that up for you. I'll go on Twitter and give him the message.
Oh, that's awesome. That's awesome. Okay. Next on my list is the Irish Wire staff picking the games.
Yeah.
And I have never seen anyone pick a safety before. Did you see that?
Yeah, I did see that. And you know what's no, wait. Here's what's tough about this. I didn't love this project. And the reason I don't love this project is you don't know what the season's going to change. So your opinion, we're doing these now, but once we get in this season and see how good or bad Notre Dame and all these people are, then the predictions week to week are going to change based on that. So this was a tricky exercise. I think Nick did that just to be Nick.
Well, the other thing I noticed, and I only went through the Ohio State game, is you're the only one who picked us to win.
I know. I saw that too. I like Notre Dame's chances to beat them more than USC and Clemson. Maybe that's what I'm feeling. But you know me, Dr. John. I always got to go against the grain on something just to be my outlying self.
Oh yeah.
That one guy at Ohio State blowing us out at home like 48-17 or something. That's the one that shocked me. We're going to have to kick that guy off our staff.
I guess I didn't notice that. I just immediately saw you were the only one to pick us.
Yeah, the one guy picked. He's like, 48-17, Ohio State, Notre Dame can't hang. I'm like, whoa, man, if that's how it is, I'm going to lose my mind. I'm going to lose my mind.
Oh, my.
Oh, boy.
Yeah. Well, I got to go finish packing. I still have clothes in the dryer here at my daughter's. So I got to take care of that. And then weigh my bags, make sure that that travel bag isn't over 50 pounds.
Yep.
But anyway, yeah, it's going to be a fun trip. It's really great if you touch base with Jay. And I may send you an email or something if anything changes as far as that Friday goes. But right now, my crew is primed for it. So
perfect, man.
I will just plan on
beautiful.
bringing the show up. And yeah,
oh, that's awesome, man.
That'll be fun.
That's awesome. Make sure you have good Wi-Fi over there. They're not going to charge you $900 a minute to pull the show up. Make sure you got a hotspot or something.
Well, I opted for a monthly phone plan over there, which is unlimited data, so I should be okay with that, I would think.
Yeah, you should be good. But man,
well,
hey,
we'll see.
Dr. John, safe travels. I will pass the message along to Jay. I know he checks Twitter, even if he's traveling or whatever. But I want you to have a safe trip, safe travels over there, and hopefully you shoot some good golf, have a couple pints, enjoy the camaraderie, and Notre Dame gets a win, and you head back to the States in a great frame of mind, my friend.
Yeah, and I will lift the Guinness for you, lad.
I like that, man. I appreciate that. Represent us over there, my friend. But all right.
All right.
Yeah, be safe out there, man.
Okay. Thank you, Seth. Have a good show. We'll talk to you a week from Friday.
There we go, man. Safe travels. We'll, man, that's exciting. What a great trip, man. I'm telling you, Dr. John's rolling in the dough. It ain't cheap. He's rolling with a big old deep crew all the way to Ireland. It ain't cheap to play those golf courses. Hanging out. Man, Dr. John's got it all figured out, man. That's living. Telling you, that's living. That is living. Pat says, I've flown overseas a few times. Once was 20-hour. The jet lag knocked me out for an entire day. I did a similar flight to Navy. That was 4 to 6 hangover. Yeah, I don't know. And you know what else I'm open to is maybe these guys that are all young, maybe they're not going to have that hangover. Like I'm trying to think back. If I was 19 or 20, I'd have less of a jet lag than I would now at 38, just because I'm old, you know? So I don't know. Yeah, Tom, that's kind of what I'm thinking too. The team of 18 to 20-year-old kids will adjust to the jet lag better than most of us. That's exactly what I'm saying. And the other thing is, here's where I think this matters, is what's Navy's plan? Did they do the same thing we do and get over there around the same day? Or did they have a different plan where they get there a few days ahead and get through their jet lag stuff before we did? Like, because both teams got to go over there and there'll be some of that lag. It's just who's lagging less. Go over there lagging more than my phone service in South Bend. So I don't know. Jay Grizz, Dr. John probably out on a golf course making major power moves. I'm telling you, man. Oh, give me a break, Dr. John. We don't believe that. Hey, I'm living on Social Security. You are the Social Security. You ain't living off it. Come on, baby. Jason, I'm very glad you brought this up. This is also something on my list. Man, you guys are really good at bringing up stuff that I want to talk about. Tells me that the evaluation of guys from this staff is on point. I've been starting to think that too. Especially when you look at some of the recent guys that are not high 4-star, 5-star type guys, but they're getting into Notre Dame. And then when they show up, they're more physically developed than anybody thought. They're mentally ready to compete and can handle some of those challenges. I just feel like things are changing, but it just takes time. It takes time to flip a roster and get it to where year one and year two guys are pushing for starting time right away. Like, you got to recruit good and kind of stack it up to get that to permeate. And I feel like we're seeing it in this year from the last class. And then I think you're going to see it even more as we keep going here. And so I just think it's a great sign that more of these guys are ready to play or are closer to it earlier. Like with Kelly, there was a lot of those way too many 3-star projects. And it was never even talked about that these guys could challenge it too deep in the first couple of years and get out there. It was always, these are developmental guys. These are undersized guys, and it is going to take 2 years to build their body up to be able to compete at this level before you even worry about getting on the field. Kelly had a way too big percentage of those recruiting classes ended up being like that. And that ain't good. You don't get over the hump like that. You don't close the gap like that. You can't. And so I just think I'm seeing better evaluations from the staff, and they're targeting guys that are real serious about coming into Notre Dame and being ready to go. When you look at a guy like Brendan Vernon and the physical changes he made on his own in Ohio at home all last year and over this summer till he reported, man, that's a different level of dedication from an 18-year-old guy than I'm used to seeing. And it's pretty impressive. And so, I mean, I have heard multiple Notre Dame media people that have been at all these practices saying these defensive linemen, it's the most physically impressive group of freshmen he's seen walk in the door. That's a good sign, man. It's kind of trending up for me. I just don't know how much. And I don't know how far that could get you this year. Like, I know it's better. I could see it and feel these changes. But how is it going to correlate in the win-loss record? How is that going to impact how we play the Marquee 3 this year? I don't know. But overall, I'm telling you, good changes are happening. Notre Dame's getting more athletic and faster overall. The players took the offseason very seriously. A lot of them that never even been here before, freshmen, reshaped their bodies, came in great shape. I was impressed by that. And it also seems like the evaluations must be pretty good on some of these guys, even if they're not the highest rated. Now, that is still a riskier path than landing all 4 and 5 stars and then seeing what you have. It's still a riskier path. It's not my preferred path to have less talent, but I'm just saying it seems like they have a pretty good handle on some of these guys, and it's starting to pay off. Where the guys we take, if they're not the highest thought of star ranking, they could still be damn good players and compete. And I think that blue chip ratio takes 1, 2, 3 years to wrap and weave itself together to get to the ultimate benefit of being that way. And so I just think you're going to keep seeing that paying off. And we're just now really getting into it. We're just now really getting into that. So I don't know. And then I wanted to hit on the AP poll just a little bit. Like that first poll. Again, we always say, and I still mean it. Yeah, Jason, I agree with you. Longer and more versatile. There's just more guys that are younger that are in physical shape that can play. Like, that's the ultimate, great sign. The ultimate great sign. That's one of them. Okay. But I did find it very, very interesting, you guys. When you look at the teams ahead of Notre Dame in the AP poll, there's 12 of them. 6 of those teams in front of Notre Dame have brand new / and or very inexperienced quarterbacks. That's a big deal. I think that is a big deal. Now, most of those teams have very, very, very high good talent levels around these quarterbacks. But I'm just telling you, I don't think I'm used to seeing this many teams in the top 10 or near it that have major question marks at quarterback. I realize there's buy-in on the overall talent level, or maybe the coach, whoever it is, with whatever team we're speaking about specifically. I realize that. But not all these guys are going to hit. It's just statistically impossible. Not all of these quarterbacks are going to hit. And all it takes is one of them to have a really bad rookie day, and a team's whole year could be ruined. You catch a fat loss early to somebody you weren't expected to because you got a young quarterback who makes a couple mistakes. That's all it takes to ruin a year. That's the best part about college football by far. The best part about college football. Why it is the best regular season in all of sports is the fact that there's only 12 games. Each one of them should be do or die. One bad day and your dreams could be ruined, especially if you're Notre Dame. It's by far the best part about college football is you only have 12 of these weeks, 12 of these games. Each one of them means a lot. This ain't no sleepy 162 baseball game. It's your summer companion and it's low stress till the end. No. So I'm just saying, Notre Dame's flying under the radar nationally, largely speaking. The game, okay, flying under the radar. You got the best quarterback in the transfer portal that was available. That makes you better. I'm just saying, I realize there's a ton of talent on those top 10 teams. There legitimately is. All those quarterbacks aren't going to hit. All those quarterbacks are not going to hit. It is the most important individual position in all sports, and they're not all going to hit right away. There are going to be some bad losses from good. I'm predicting there's going to be some bad losses from some good overall teams. New quarterbacks, man. New quarterbacks. There's a lot to learn. That game might be moving faster than it is in reality in those guys' minds. So all I'm saying is there's a lot that is far from proven with those teams at Notre Dame. There is a chance Notre Dame could fly under the radar the first month. Let some of these teams, whatever they're going to do, they're going to do. Notre Dame kind of flies under the radar. That first 4 games, none of them are real big matchups that's going to excite anybody on the national level, not get a lot of steam. Run under that radar at 4-0 and see what else happens. And then you got Ohio State. That's the path. That's the path, I'm telling you. Oh, man. Brian Van Gorder's burner. In less than 2 weeks, John will have a stroke. His cardiologist is getting ready for a big payday. You know what's funny about that is you're talking about me having a stroke, and your avatar is one of the last guys that gave me a Notre Dame stroke because of what a stroke he was. Brian Van Gorder's burner. Look at him. It's all in my brain. It's all in my brain. Yeah, it's so much in your brain. You couldn't teach our smart players how to run your defense, bro. Yeah, it's definitely in your brain. Something ain't wired right in it. That's what's going on. Oh, my gosh. There will be some losses, Jason says. I'm just saying, it's a rare opportunity. Usually you're looking at that top 10, and there's a lot of proven upperclassmen quarterbacks there. That's normally what you're working with. That's not the case. 6 of those teams, I'm telling you, they can't all hit. It's a statistical impossibility that they're all going to be just fine and there's no year 1 road bumps. There's going to be some losses. I'm telling you, quarterback's that important a couple really bad young mistakes, and you're losing a game. That's all it takes. So I'm just saying, there is a path here for Notre Dame to fly right under the radar and then surprise some people and then pop up right where they want to be. Now, on the flip side, I could see Notre Dame going 9-3. I could. Just as easily as I could see 10-2, 11-1 on that I side. I could see Notre Dame going 9-3 easy. Are you shitting me? Like, have you ever been a Notre Dame fan before? I could see that easy. It wouldn't surprise me, but it would very much anger me. It wouldn't surprise me, but it would very much anger me. You do not bring Sam Hartman in here to go 9-3. You're messing up a lot of stuff if you're doing that. So I don't know. Adam Dowling says that D tackle weighed 10 pounds heavier than this year. That's what I'm talking about. I'm just saying these guys came in ready. And it's here's the other part of this about guys. This is going to come off weird. I like it when we get into camp and the first couple days, a lot of the beat writers write down what these guys physically look like. And I know that sounds weird, but I am eager to see what they look like when they get to camp. And they were going, man, these guys really must add a program in the offseason of like a peak muscle tone and weight and all these like barometers they want them to reach. And they all did it on their own, not on campus, not with some Bayless before he resigned yelling at him and stuff. On their own, a lot of these guys were doing this. And they came in more prepared. Not, I'm going to do whatever, relax all summer and then get in here and get it going and get in shape. No, I feel like there's a different level of buy-in, and these guys were doing it on their own, and I love it. Jay Grizz, I wouldn't mind 9-3, 10-2 if I'm being realistically honest. I would. 9-3 is a freaking nightmare. 9-3 is a nightmare, man. If you go 9-3 and you lose the marquee 3, nobody's going to be happy with that. You don't bring Hartman in here to lose all those games. That's the problem with 9-3 is if the 3 are the big marquee 3, you do not bring Hartman in here to drop all those games. And on the flip side, if you beat 1 or 2 of the big 3 and then you lose to anybody else, we're not going to be happy with that either because it means you lost to a team you have more talent than. You got the marquee 3, and then Notre Dame has more talent than everybody else. So if you end up at 9-3, but with the win or 2 against the marquee 3, then you're still dropping games to teams you have no business losing to, that you have more talent than. And I'm not down with that either. So 9-3 ain't going to do it, man. That ain't going to cut it. People are going to be mad about that. People are going to be mad about that. And I'm going to be right there. You don't bring Hartman in here to lose all of the marquee 3. That cannot happen. It's 10-2 or better. 10-2 or better is the minimal level that's not going to have people calling for Freeman's head and this is going down on us and sideways and off the path and everything. 10-2 or better, that's it. That's it. So you got to figure it out. Got to figure it out. Jason, 10-2 is my floor, but the 2 have to be hard-fought L's, not ugly, or to a team we shouldn't lose to. Exactly. And I will say this, at least every year during Kelly, there was at least one blowout in every single year that he was here. At least you didn't have that last year. Yeah, we lost too many games. At least we didn't get blown out at them. Like, I realize that is an embarrassing bar. But if you really do go back and do the accounting, every single year that Kelly was at Notre Dame, there was an embarrassing, humiliating blowout every year. Now, yeah, some of them were in a championship game or the playoff or whatever. I'm just saying, there was never a year Kelly wasn't here. There wasn't one embarrassing humiliation. That's all I'm saying. So, I don't know. Oh, boy. All right, you guys, that's going to do it. We're going to wrap it up. I have some stuff to do to prep for some other things I'm going to release. We went an hour and a half, pretty good little show here. We're going to send Dr. John off to Ireland. But it's, man, you guys, we're at the end. We're at the end of this, and you can feel the energy ramping up and just the excitement, and you don't know what you're going to get. And I'm ready for it, man. We need to start getting answers to all of our questions. So I appreciate everybody being here, everybody donating, everybody chatting, giving a thumbs up. I appreciate all that. There is no show without you. I will post a short tomorrow, and then we'll have another video for you tomorrow morning, and we'll go from there. Have a good day, everybody. The season is almost here. 10-3 is garbage. 9-3 is garbage. Yeah, I agree with all of you. It is. Do better than that. Have a good day.